As you may already know, the ocean is nearly immeasurable. It is so huge it covers 70% of the Earth's surface. But did you know that the ocean actually provides over half of the oxygen we breathe while simultaneously regulating the world's climate? In other words, the ocean is so vital for our survival, we wouldn't be able to breathe without it. It's no wonder that ancient Greeks, along with several other cultures, bowed down on their knees and worshipped the ocean. It's so deep, we haven't even found the bottom yet. Here's a fact about the ocean that will blow your mind. It's actually home to 94% of all life on Earth. This is exactly why we made this video. There are so many fascinating sea creatures. We're about to show you some of the most unique and different sea creatures out there, ones you think that came from a myth or a folktale. So without further ado, let's dive in. Anyone who's ever seen Jaws will agree that sharks can be terrifying. If you've seen the Hobbit films, you know goblins are even more terrifying. So what happens when you combine both of those concepts? You get the Goblin Shark. The Goblin Shark is a fascinating specimen of prehistoric ancestry, with its ancestors dating back 120 million years. Despite the never-ending timeline, it's managed to keep its frightening look in nature. You may notice that this shark is the color of Patrick's star, and it's still scary. Measuring at a range of 3 to 4 meters, or 10 to 13 feet, although it can grow up to 20 feet, this shark has an elongated and flat snout that looks a lot like a blade. Maybe taxidermists could have called it a blade shark. It hangs out at a depth of 100 meters to 1,300 meters below sea level. What's most fascinating about the Goblin Shark, other than its protruding jaw that stretches out whenever it's hunting for prey, is the fact that it's considered a fossil fish, meaning it's so old that scientists aren't sure how this shark is still existing, and it's not clear how many of them are out there. Well, it's not all going to be scary and hideous sea creatures on this list. Some of them are actually adorable. This is the cetacean known as the Vaquita, otherwise known as the panda of the sea, because of how cute they are. The Vaquita, aka the Phasina sinus, is a small porpoise mainly found on the Gulf of California. It's pretty closely related to whales and dolphins, but they can't hold a candle to its cuteness. With big buggly eyes, triangular dorsal fins, and patches of gray and white coating, it's an apex beauty. Its diet consists of crustaceans, small squids, and croakers, and it hangs out with its calves on a sunny day. What's most important to note is that much like regular pandas, the vaquitas are going extinct due to the effects of overfishing and pollution, which sucks because they're just so adorable, and everyone knows cute things should not be going extinct. Yes, that's right, some fish actually do fly, and this isn't some dolphin maneuver. This is a fish that leaps out of the water, gets caught by the air, and glides for a while, usually to catch some unfortunate bird or smaller fish, and then it dives back in. Now you must be wondering how that's possible. Well, flying fish, scientifically known as exocetids, are a family of fishes who possess a pectoral fin modification, which serves as rigid wings that enable them to glide for up to 200 meters or 650 feet. Yes, they are unable to carry out manual flight like birds, but still, gliding for up to 650 feet and you're a fish? That's just fascinating. You can talk about a fish that looks and flies like a bird, but what about a fish that looks a lot like a Dementor from Harry Potter? Meet the Gulper Eel, also known as the pelican eel due to its large mouth that's bigger than its entire body. Gulper eels are no bigger than 3 feet and are usually pitch black with very tiny eyes. They can swallow food twice as big as they are, and then store it in their mouth sac before slowly digesting it, kind of like a pelican. It also has a stomach that can stretch to accommodate its prey. But there's just something about it when they open their mouths and beat their snake-like caudal fins, coupled with their already dark and gloomy facade. It is eerily similar to a Dementor. Feels like the gulperfish is trying to suck away all the happiness in the lives of their prey, which in some sense, they are. What comes to your mind when you hear the words vampire squid? Are you thinking of a squid with a funny voice, pale skin, and hatred for all things bright and yellow? That's not a vampire squid, that's just Squidward. The real vampire squid is a lot more strange. The squid scientifically known as Vampire tutus infernalis, which is Latin for vampire squid from hell, is a squid that's about 1 foot long and has bioluminescent organs, as well as sophisticated oxygen metabolism, which lets it survive at great depths. The squid has 8 arms and skin webbing that connects all its limbs together, and underneath all that is a series of sharp teeth and suckers. This brings the question that's been going through your mind since you heard its name. Does the vampire squid feed on blood? The answer is no. It feeds on detritus and sea microbes, and is named the vampire squid because of its velvet red skin pigmentation. Another fun fact about the vampire squid is that, by proportion, it has the largest eyes in the animal kingdom. It's blood-sucking, but that's still pretty awesome. Ever heard of the jellyfish that never dies? Yes, this jellyfish can theoretically live forever if it's left undisturbed. The name is Turritopsis dohrnii, from the class Hydrozone, and it's one of the only living beings that can revert to its asexual state upon reaching sexual maturity, meaning when it reaches a certain age, or if it's injured, hungry, or simply having a bad day, it reverts to being a jellyfish equivalent of a kid and starts growing again. It can do this as many times as it wants, whenever it wants. So in essence, it's immortal. Look at us thinking immortality was some fictional idea when all we had to do was go jellyfishing. This is Geruna Funebrus, a variety of sea slugs or shellless mollusks that's commonly found in the Indo-Pacific region. Those slugs are absolutely beautiful with their polka-dotted markings that look like Oreos. They are slow bottom feeders who feed primarily on a particular blue sponge. Beauty means being selective, after all, so this nudibranch is a very particular diet. It only feeds on this sponge because the sponge helps to foster its internal toxins, which help it fend off predators. Yes, the dotted nudibranch can be poisonous when ingested, so it's probably best not to eat it when you go scuba diving. Next up is the big belly seahorse. This is one of the biggest seahorses in the world, and it's found at a whopping 14 inches. Not really big in comparison to regular horses though, but the seahorse is gallant in its own right, with its forward tilt and long snouted head and coily tail, not to mention its extremely round belly. It's not exactly clear why no one talks about how seahorses swim. You've realized that they swim vertically, right? Like they swim with their heads up and their body facing front, like a human. This is possible thanks to their large dorsal fin, which serves as a rudder and propels them forward. Interestingly enough, the seahorse feeds on small shrimps and crustaceans, and they have a wide appetite, hence the large stomach. You can find the big belly seahorse in the southwest of Australia and New Zealand, but it's best not to ride them, because unlike regular horses, it's not clear if they can support your weight. This is one of those creatures that gets you asking, who comes up with these names? But looking at this fish, it's no surprise why they decided to name it this way. The clown frogfish does look like a combination between a frog and a fish. It is found in the Indo-Pacific region and grows to a length of approximately 6 inches. The frogfish is a camouflaging animal, and it changes its body color to suit its environment. It also exhibits biofluorescence, meaning that it glows when it comes into contact with ultraviolet light. But what's most interesting about the clown frogfish is how much they can't stand other clown frogfish. The clown frogfish dwells in the benthic region, or the seafloor, and it's more of a solitary animal. But they usually congregate during mating season, and after that they go back to their solitary ways. Female clown frogfishes have been known to kill males when they get too close, which is remarkable to us humans, but not so much for the male frogfish who is just looking for some female companionship. We started with a shark, so it's only fitting that we end this list with the mother of all sharks, the Megalodon. This shark's name literally translates to big tooth. It's a shark that's believed to have existed millions of years ago, and is speculated to have been the largest and most powerful predator to have ever been on Earth. To this day, it's not exactly clear how big the Megalodon was, because what we've actually found are fossils of its tooth and jaws, and from that evidence, marine biologists and archaeologists estimate the shark to have been as big as 67 feet, weighing as much as 65 short tons. To help you understand, the average 2-story building is approximately 30 feet, which means the Megalodon was over 4 stories tall. Now, you must be wondering why the Megalodon is on this list if it's already extinct. That's because a couple of years ago, a photo was captured via satellite of a shark bigger than a school bus in waters near Italy. Judging from what we know about the Megalodon and the fact that there are sharks that existed millions of years ago that are still out there today, it's safe to say that the Megalodon could still be out there. What do you think? Once again, I think that it's important to say that our ocean is vast and mysterious, and we know more about the origins of our own universe than we do about Earth's oceans. Yet, even though we've discovered so much, there's still so much we have yet to discover, and only time will tell what secrets lie beneath those mighty depths and frigid waters.